I wonder if we ever free ourselves from shadow. Like if when once we navigate one and kind of put it in front of us, pull it out of the bag, there's other ones in there.
Mhm.
It seems like this is a process that will follow us our entire life.
Mhm.
Is that true?
I would agree with that.
Phil Phails for you.
I'm not sure I'm the right person to say is that true or not true,
Yeah.
but I can tell you my opinion. And my opinion is that, yeah, there's always, you know, there's always going to be something that I'm working on, and I don't believe that I'm going to get to it before I die, where everything is perfect. And part of that is I'm going to have life experiences that show up that challenge me,
Mm-hmm.
that knock me off of that center, like sickness and death, for example. Right? And so anytime somebody dies, that has me questioning, and the way I react to that may not be like who has somebody in their family that dies and then just deals with that perfectly, right? Or doesn't hide out or doesn't check out or doesn't, because emotions come up that are so strong. So I'm a firm believer that it's a lifelong journey. And from what I've seen, I just gathered with shadow work facilitators, some of them are in their 70s, and they're dealing with their shadows around aging and death and physical,
Yeah.
body not working the way that it used to, and I'm dealing with some of that at 62. I don't run much anymore. I used to run. I was an ice hockey goalie for a while
Okay.
growing up in Boston. And, I haven't played ice hockey in a couple of years because my body just doesn't feel like I can anymore. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to have periods of time. I'm going to have seasons of
Yeah.
calm and peace and everything's in flow. But that's never going to be, I'm never, even if I'm always up here, I'm still flatlining.
Yeah.
Life is this.
Right.
And so I also believe that the great joy in life comes out of the great struggle in life.
Yeah.
So I don't see a situation. I think what you shared, the quote that you shared, is, for me, it's very true. And so, yeah, it's great that this is working for me now, or that, I'm not biting my fingernails anymore. It's great. But we could sit and talk about the things that I still want to change in my life and work on about me,
Yeah.
So I do think that that there's not a Shangri-La or a utopia around a no shadow, and it took so many years for them to get developed until I even started looking at them. In my case, I was 38 when I started looking inside. I didn't look inside before that. I didn't have a sense. And I tried to manage everything from my quite smart brain, but it didn't work very well. I was divorced, all that stuff. So I think recognizing that, I think there's seasons, there's cycles of growth.
Yeah.
And so I have a struggle. When I'm in struggle is usually when I reach out to get help.
Yeah.
Then I get some help and I figure some things out. And then I integrate that new learning back into my life. And this also kind of follows the hero's journey cycle as well, right? Something changes, and then I go into the deepest, darkest part of my own forest to slay my dragons. I learn something about that, about myself in that experience. And then I bring that back to the community. And at that time, I'm kind of maybe on that plateau for a while, but then something else will come up. But it's not usually, there's sometimes it's the same things, but sometimes it's something different. Did you ever hear Portia Nelson life autobiography in 5 short chapters?
Yeah. You come up to a street. Tell us this.
Well, I can't quote it. I walk down the street. There's a hole in the street. It's chapter 1. There's a hole in the street. I fall in the hole. I don't know how I got here. Eventually, I get myself out.
Yeah.
Chapter 2, I walk down the street. There's a hole in the street. I see the hole. I know there's a hole in the street, and I fall into it. Eventually, I get myself out. Chapter 3, I walk down the street, and I fall into the hole again. But this time, I realize it's like, oh, I got myself in here. This is my deal. I did something to get into this hole, and I eventually get out. And I continue walking. Chapter 4, I walk down the street and I see the hole and I walk around the hole and I don't fall in the hole. And then, of course, there's chapter 5. I walk down a different street.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I've quoted that one before.
I think I might have gotten it right or close to right.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So, but that can happen on one topic, and then the next topic or the next area of my life where there's a different shadow, I walk down the street and fall into the hole and don't know how I get there.
Yeah.
I still fall into holes at 62.
And this failure is part of life. It's part of learning.
I think so.
And so we probably have a lot of different streets we're in some chapter of that book with.
Relationships, money, health, physical, all those big areas that, people are focused on. Community, relationship, all that, like money. How many times do you think I got my money sorted out and then it's like, crap, I'm in that spot again. And some people don't have that, but I don't know. My son's a financial planner and I'm sure he's got times, and he's really good, like with his money. And I'm sure he has times where he's like, crap, how did that happen again to me? So I do think that it's just a lifelong exploration.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Yeah, it sounds like that sounds true to me.